And then on a side note, in spite of all your success in the broadcasting industry, you give back to the community every chance you get. In the police realm, Art has worked very hard in his leadership role with our Long Beach Police Foundation, and has taken a lot of time away from other endeavors to be able to focus on helping us to raise money as an organization for things that we couldn't otherwise have, the budget doesn't support, such as kids program, after-school mentoring, boxing programs, and on and on and on. Equipment for officers that they wouldn't otherwise have, training for officers that otherwise would go by the wayside. So really, when it comes down to it, you're the full citizen, the full package, and a Long Beach icon. And we all owe you a lot, and think the world of you. And I know that many, many more would be here tonight, except you didn't invite them. But congratulations on a long, good run, 500 shows of straight talk. That's amazing in a major media market to have 500 shows. There's very few people in the history of broadcasting who can say that they achieved that milestone. So congratulations, and thank you for what you do and continue to do for everybody in this city all the time. Thank you, Art.
Thanks, boss. 7 years ago, a young Long Beach lady took the bold step of challenging her former boss for election to the position of city auditor. Like many others, Gary Burrows underestimated the tenacity and competitive spirit of Laura Dowd. She won that election and a second one 4 years later. One of her first big audits focused on the police department, and I got to work closely with her in that project. Her team recently won a coveted 2012 Bronze Knight Award for their audit of parking citation revenue collections. You ought to get an award just for working on that thing. She's as impressive on the job as she is at the Belmont Athletic Club every morning, where she's evolved into a running fanatic. She's got a bunch of marathons under her belt and runs with a group of ladies who are in such great shape that they carry on a full-blown conversation while they're running. She's a real professional and a great asset to the city. Please welcome our city auditor, Laura Dowd. I hope it works.
Oh, thank you. Yes, it does. Thank you. It's really an honor to be here this evening to celebrate this great milestone, Art, 500 shows. It's really quite a milestone for you, and I'm so happy for you. And it's really an honor to be here with such great distinguished guests. I feel very honored just to say a few words this evening. You know, as was mentioned, I ran for office about 8 years ago as a new auditor. I was very nervous about the whole experience, and Art invited me onto his show right away. I was nervous, and one thing he did was with his gift and his talent, he made me feel very comfortable from the very beginning. And you know, that doesn't just come without work. I have observed and witnessed him at the Coffee Bean Coffee House almost every morning, early in the morning, and I don't always say hello. I'm sorry, I'll drive by and I'll see you and just watch you. But he does his homework and is constantly reading, researching, studying the issues of the day to become familiar with what's important to the people of Long Beach. And that really comes across in his shows and in the questions that he asks, and that his genuine interest in talking about the topics of the day. And I've really appreciated that in the interviews that he's had with me. He has been genuinely interested in the work that we're doing in the auditor's office, and oftentimes, I mean, most people would rather have a root canal than have a visit from the auditor, but he has welcomed me with open arms. He's made me feel very comfortable. He's made me feel very much at home, and I forget that I'm even on TV when I'm talking to him. I just have a very natural conversation with him, and then after it's over, I realized, you know, what had just transpired, and that's a true gift and a talent by Art, and I'm so pleased for his work that he does for the community, for his consistency. As I've thought about really this great accomplishment over 22 years, I had to do an audit on the 500 shows, right? I had to like break it down because I was thinking, look, he's done approximately 48 interviews a year, and of people, and about 2 people per show for 22 years, and it does come up to 500. So I have confirmed and verified that he has done 500 shows. And when you think about that for a minute, when I thought about the consistency of 500 shows over 22 years, the comparison that came to my mind was of Cal Ripken, who broke Lou Gehrig's record of consecutive games in baseball. Cal Ripken played, I think, 2,131 consecutive games of baseball without ever missing a game. And that, to me, is equivalent to 500 shows on TV consistently over 22 years. Congratulations, Art. Thank you so much for all you do for our community. We love you. Keep up the work. We're all here to support you and to keep it moving forward. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Laura. Our next speaker is also an elected official and an attorney, experienced in criminal prosecutions and civil litigations. Prior to his election in 2010, he served as a deputy city prosecutor in Long Beach and a contract prosecutor and a city attorney in several cities in our region. Doug Halbert has been engaged in his community as an appointed civil service commissioner and an airport commissioner, as well as a member of the Ethics Task Force. He worked closely with Chief McDonnell to develop one of the most effective and comprehensive gang injunction programs anywhere in the country. He has also put the responsibility for school truancy where it belongs, on the parents, with impressive results. Please welcome our city prosecutor, Doug Halbert.
So I have to ask everyone, what does Art Levine and Meryl Streep have in common? Anyone? Rhythm. Apparently. Both of them are missing Game 7 of the NBA Finals. That'd be another thing, right? They both have a piece of paper hanging on the wall in their house that says Yale on it. I researched that. And Art Levine, I call him counselor when I see him, just to remind him that he is an attorney. Of course, he reminds me that he is an attorney. Every time he interviews me, he cross-examines me, if you will. But he's in good company. I looked up some other famous celebrity Yale graduates, like Art Levine. Other news media and entertainers, like Anderson Cooper with CNN, and Bob Woodward of Watergate fame, Ben Stein, Paul Newman. These are all famous Yale graduates like you, Art. And there's also a lot of lawyer politicians that went to Yale. Bill and Hillary Clinton both went to Yale. I think they graduated at the same time. George Herbert Walker Bush. Have you interviewed all these people yet? You're working on your list? I found out William Howard Taft, who was both a president and a Supreme Court justice, was a Yale graduate. But I'll tell you what, you can take all those guys, and I will trade them for our Yale graduate here in Long Beach, Art Levine. And when I think of Art Levine, and I promise to keep my words short, I will just sum it up into one word. Art, you are the consummate gentleman. And on behalf of Long Beach, if I had a glass, I would raise it to you and I would toast you, Art Levine. Here's to you and another great 500 shows in 21 years. Congratulations.
Our next speaker comes from just across the border behind the orange curtain. He is a native of the Netherlands. John Morlock currently represents the citizens of Orange County's 2nd Supervisorial District. That's not an easy word to say, by the way. He is a Cal State alum. He holds a degree in finance. He's a CPA, certified financial planner. When he was running for county treasurer and tax collector in 1994 against incumbent Robert Citrone, all those qualifications helped him to predict with unfortunate accuracy the impending muni bond portfolio losses that resulted in the Orange County bankruptcy. Now, he lost that election, but he actually won the war because Citrone resigned and he was appointed and then elected and served for 12 years as the Orange County Treasurer and Tax Collector. After writing The Financial Ship, he ran for supervisor in 2006, and he won with 70% of the vote. He's here with his wife Trina tonight. My pleasure to introduce Supervisor John Moore.
Thank you. It's really great to be here, and it's great to have a former governor here today that looks like he's actually Secret Service. It is great to be in Long Beach. My father worked here when I was growing up, and I've got lots of fond memories of the city, but it's also nice to be at a place where I can see my district from here. So, every time I talk to Art, there's, oh, have I told you this one?
Oh, that's so great!
Thank you, I'll pay you later.
Was he a plant?
You got to come prepared, Del. Just stay tuned. So this college professor, this TV show host, and this Jewish attorney go into a bar for Game 7 of the NBA playoffs. And one of them says 500. Another one says, Mazel Tov. You've only been married since June. Rhythm. Okay. I did that. I'm sorry, honey. So 500. I looked up 500. That was, you know, everybody's focused on something, so I looked up 500. So I've been on 3 of your shows, I think. So that puts me at 0.6%, which is better than what I'm getting in my money market fund. You know? So that's pretty impressive. I also looked up 500 for baseball players that hit home runs. There are only 25 people on this planet that have played professional baseball and have hit 500 home runs. So that's a pretty unique class. But for 500 episodes, Del, I mean, the classic that you did not mention, just last year, this show hit its 500th show, and it was a pretty big deal. And it's a show I will confess that I watch on a pretty regular basis. The Simpsons. You're in the same class as The Simpsons. That's icon status. That's, I mean, you know what they called the last show? And there's nothing hinted here. At long last, leave. Just saying, that's what I looked up in my research. I'm not a Yale grad, so that's the best I could do. But I love the letters you've gotten from all your fans, and I know that some of the sleeping pill companies have been pretty upset about your show. That sales have been down. All right, just think about it when you go home. It'll just sink in. But I want to say that you are an outstanding host. You know how to guide the show all the way through, beginning to end, and you know how to shape it. You know where you're going, and it's been a real honor to be interviewed by you. I also think for everyone, you know, you got to get involved, and Art has gotten involved, and this is just an incredible way to meet a lot of wonderful people, and you have done that. That's all I can say is bravo and encore. And for me personally, you have invested in me personally, and you've been there for years, and you've come all the way past the orange curtain to be with me on a number of occasions, and my wife and I are extremely grateful for your friendship and for Diane's friendship, and we wish you all the best, and thank you for your gift to the community. Thank you, Art.